Good morning, everyone. Hi, Rebecca. Hi, Yvette. Hi, Christine. I see there's already people in here. Hello, hello, hello. I am so excited to be back. I have a fun card to make for you guys today, and I have some good tips, I think. So stick around. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Charlene Madrid. I am on the design team for Picket Fence Studios, and I go live every Tuesday, well, most Tuesdays at 12 o'clock Central, and we all hang out. Oh my gosh, Yvette, you're going to IKEA. I wish you the best of luck. Don't get lost. I went to IKEA to get some bedroom furniture for my kids not that long ago, and we bought these giant bookcases because my kids are Lego kids and they have tons of stuff. And the Legos were out of control. So I wish you luck finding whatever it is you need. Hi, Joan. Welcome, welcome. I have got some fun stuff to tell you guys too. Lots of you know I went to Create over the weekend and it was amazing. So I'll be chatting about that as we go on and make our fantastic card. And then also for those of you that are new to the channel, I give away my card at the end of the live and I pick someone randomly from the comments. So please be sure to comment, and if you want a card sent to you, some happy mail, be sure to comment and let us know where you're from. The ladies in the chat are super friendly and it gives me something to talk about, right? Hi, Arlette. So I'm going to switch you over now to my desk camera. Okay, this is the card we're going to make today. Now, this is not put together yet because I'm going to show you how I did this coloring on here, and it's going to take a little bit of time. So I'm probably going to pull two of these from here and just show you how I colored one of them. So I haven't put this all together yet, but it's going to be super cute and easy to do. The coloring looks complicated, but I'll walk you through it, and it really will make a lot of sense as we do it. So let me move this without dropping it on the floor, because that's totally possible. All right, let me show you. We are going to start with some foiling, and I am using the brand new May release today, so I'm not going to show you everything. I'm just going to show you what I'm using for this card. Tonight at 6 o'clock Central, Nicole, the owner of Picket Fence Studios, will go live for a launch party, and she will show you the release. She'll show you tons of inspiration from the design team members, and so definitely come to the live, but this is kind of to just whet your appetite, I suppose, for the May release and show you some cool things you can do with it. Hi, Heather. Hi, Carol. Humble, Texas. I used to know someone that lived near there. So we're going to use the Plenty of Lines Fabulous Foiling Toner Card Fronts. Now, these are toner card fronts. If you're familiar with toner foiling, they're really, I don't want to say simple, but just like classic, right? So you have all these different fun, classic, and then maybe some that are a little bit more funky, like this one, striped patterns in different directions. So these make for really super easy backgrounds. I'm going to be using this one for my card today, but you can see there's lots of different ones in there. And I saw some people from the design team just use them as black and white, which is cool. But keep in mind on any of your toner card front products, any of the Fabulous Foiling Toner Card Fronts, you can ink blend on them and create whatever color you want the white space to be. So they are a very versatile way to create a background that's going to coordinate with your card. Hi, Anna. All right, so we're going to start with this one. I'm going to bring in my inks. I'm going to be using some inks from Simon Says Stamp today. I've got their kind of warm purple trio here of Lilac, Orchid, and Amethyst. And I could probably get away with just doing Lilac and Amethyst, but I'll probably do all three. So I've got my blending brush here. I'm going to dive right in. I'll start with the darkest color, and I'm just going to get some on my brush. Now, when you are ink blending over a toner card front, they are very smooth, okay? So they're going to actually blend really easily because the ink is just going to kind of glide right on there and spread out. It doesn't get soaked up into the paper. So you can get some really, really beautiful blends on there. But because it doesn't soak into the fibers of paper, like say if you were doing it on a piece of Nina or something like that, you also have to keep in mind if you're going to ink blend before you do the toner, you need to let it dry a little bit because you can get your fingerprints on there and different things like that. So you can see I didn't use much color, but it just goes right on there because it's all just sitting pretty much on top of the paper. So I've got my Amethyst, and I'm going to move into my Orchid, and bring this right across the middle. There isn't a huge difference, I feel like, between the Orchid and the Amethyst. It definitely makes it easier to create a gradient from dark to light, but you could easily blend, like I said, the darkest color into the lightest to give you a gradient, and you would have that light color in the middle, or I'm sorry, the medium color in the middle. So you guys probably notice I'm a little bit scratchy. Good morning, Kathy. I've spent Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday talking nonstop because I'm a chatterbox, and there were so many people at Create that I wanted to talk to, and so I just blah, 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 blah the whole time. I don't think I stopped talking the whole time I was there. So I came home on Sunday night with zero voice. And in fact, my husband was convinced. He said, "Oh, you're sick. You picked up a bug. Don't kiss me. I don't want to get sick." And I was like, "No, I honestly think it's just my voice." And so it came back some yesterday, came back a little bit more this morning, but it's definitely still scratchy. So forgive me if I stop to take some drinks of water, clear my throat, things like that. Vicki Donnelly. Oh my gosh, you guys. I met Vicki at Create, and she's just the sweetest. She's lovely. If any of you watch CZ, Kathy Zilski's channel, Vicki, are you a moderator? I think she's a moderator on the channel. But she is on there all the time, so I've gotten to know her that way, and I met her in person, and she's just as sweet in person. She's wonderful. So I wish I could. There's so many people here in the chat that I love, and I wish you guys had all been at Create. You guys, it's just so nice to see crafty people in person. I can't even express to you. And I went last year, and they really stepped it up. Nicole is here. Hi, Nicole. Nicole put up with my antics for the whole weekend. My squealing every time I saw her, my jumping around and hugging her every time I saw her. Vicki said she just stalks CZ. Me too. You and I will stalk her together. And every time I saw Nicole, she probably was like, "Girl, calm down. It's okay." But I was so excited to see her. And Brenda was there, the design team leader, and so many other people that were just amazing to meet. So you can see here, I blended the darkest purple into the medium purple into the lightest purple, and we have this really pretty gradient. I'm going to set this aside for a minute to dry because, like I said, it's very glossy, the toner card fronts. If you've ever worked with them, they're very slick and smooth. Great for blending, but you definitely want to let it dry a little bit. Rebecca I might just like have to find you and drag you along next year. That's all I know, because it was Simon really stepped it up. It was, I don't know. I think somebody over at Simon might have watched my video about Create last year, because I'm telling you guys, every single thing that I said that was like constructive feedback, they fixed it. Every one of them. Like every single thing. So I like, the only improvement they could make next year would be to make it bigger. Frankly. So Simon, if you're watching, make it bigger. No, but they did a great job. And there were so many amazing crafty companies there. Picket Fence did 2 of the cutest projects. And I had the privilege to go and fill in for some of the gals at the table, so that they could, you know, have a chance to walk around or go have a potty break and stuff like that. Yeah, Joan, it sold out really fast. So that's why I said the only thing they could do is they could make it bigger so more people could come. But then you run into also, you know, like, you don't want to make it too big because then it gets a little more impersonal. I don't know. With card makers, I don't know if that's possible. Yes, Vicky, that was... Okay, a few minor bits of constructive feedback, right? It was a little tough being on Mother's Day weekend. It was also my son's 14th birthday on Thursday, so we had to celebrate on Wednesday, so that way we could still have a little bit of a celebration before I headed out. It wasn't too bad because he's, you know, he's 14. He's kind of doing his own thing anyway, and he wasn't upset, but you know, I'm a mama, so I was a little sad I had to miss the actual day, and then Mother's Day, of course. But on the plus side, my flight did not leave on Sunday until 6:30, so I got to sleep in, and then I went and got to have a nice leisurely breakfast, and it was quiet. It was really nice. Okay, I have got the Sweet Summer Bellflowers stamps and dies. Look how pretty this set is, you guys. It's so pretty, and I think it has kind of the perfect amount of shading lines. It's really, really nice set. I saw this and I was like, oh, yep, that's what I'm going to use the first day of my lives for the release, because it's just gorgeous. There's enough space in there that you can get some color in there, but there is still some line work, which I always like a little bit of line work. Really nice. Joan, like, yeah, that's why I said I never stopped talking the whole event, because every time I turned around, I was squealing because there's somebody else that I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're here. Black Hybrid ink, we're going to use this one. I don't know which is which. All I know is I thought this one was pretty. I don't even know if these are purple, but I went with purple. I'm not a gardener. I do not have a green thumb. For those of you that know me, I appreciate the beauty of florals. I, however, know nothing really about them. So I'm going to stamp this in Black Hybrid ink, because this is good for both alcohol marker coloring as well as watercoloring. Nicole, okay. See, is this gonna go up? There we go. I did have a really good time on Saturday night. There is a pub on site at the conference center and hotel, and I double stamped this because I want to get a really nice black line. And we went to the pub, and we not only closed the pub down, we also eventually closed the patio down. I left when I looked down at my watch and saw that it was 1:45 in the morning, and there were still people on the patio. I was like, you guys, y'all are even crazier than me, which is hard to believe. Jennifer McGuire was still on the patio. And I was like, I gotta get some sleep because every morning was really hard for me because I was on West Coast time and I'm already not a morning person. So I would get up at 7 and that was 4 a.m. West Coast. So I had to go to bed, but had a fantastic time. Oh, that's good to know. Vicky said it was the only weekend the venue had available. Okay, so hopefully next weekend or next event, they can resolve that. Vicky, yep, I've killed every kind of plant there is. I bought my mother-in-law for Mother's Day last year sent me a plant from this company called Easy Plant. And it's like you only put water in this reservoir that's in there once a month. And that's all you have to do. And I was like, well, I'll wait and see if I kill this one before I even think about getting another one. And after 6 months went by and I hadn't killed it, I was like, okay, it's magical. So I bought a 3-pack set that were like different sizes and stuff. And I've kept those all alive. I just have a reminder that goes off once a month to fill up the water reservoirs. So if you don't have a green thumb, you should look into those. I've got my Olos here. I'm going to use G1.7, G1.4, and G.4. Okay, so I've got a dark, a mid, and a light. And I'm going to take the darkest, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a very little bit of this into the areas where there should be darker shading on the leaves. So you can see this one kind of bent, like bows in there. So let me bring you in, guys. Hold on. There we go. So this one kind of bends in there. That's why I put shading there. Shading at the base of them, of the leaves. Shading just a small line on the sides of anything that's overlapping. And that is really going to be it for the dark. So I'm not going crazy with that one. I'm going to bring in my 1.4 now. And I'm not going to go, you see where that dark is? I'm not going to go all over it. This is something that I've been learning. I've been practicing with my coloring. I'm actually only going to color into a little bit of it. So I'm just going to kind of color into a little bit of it everywhere that it is with my mid-tone without actually going fully back over that dark color. And I think this gives a really good result. Now, if the space is small, like right there wasn't much space. I just went from one side to the other. But again, just barely going into that darkest color with my mid-tone. And I am practicing more and more using Nina because I don't recommend that if you're newer to coloring. But I've been doing it a lot. And so now I am working my way into using Nina more often because the hard thing with Nina is that you really can't put very much ink on the paper without it potentially bleeding. So I don't recommend using that if you're a newer colorist. I brought in the 0.4 just to fill in the lighter areas. So same kind of thing. I took it just into the areas where the 1.4 were, but I didn't go all the way over. Now I'm going to bring my 1.4 just very gently up the stem. And when I'm coloring, I'm just letting the tip of my marker hit the paper. I'm not pushing, so I'm not going like this, right? I'm going like this, barely touching it. Altenew makes, alcohol markers, I've used them. They have very pretty colors that coordinate with their inks and things like that, but I am a big fan of the Olo markers. They are my favorite. I used Copics for a very long time, and then I got some Olos, I don't know, probably 6 months ago or so, and they very quickly became my personal favorite. But they are juicy and they do put down a lot of ink. So Copics also are fantastic markers. I heard that Nicole just said that they came out with 32 new colors of Olo markers. And if you go on the Pigment Studios website, I think you can still pre-order them. But it sounds like that they have shipped. So I'm super excited to get them because I ordered them right away. For the florals, I'm going to be using V2.6, V2.4, and V2.3 as my dark, medium, and light. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my dark here, my 2.6, and I'm going to visualize these flowers. And for shading, when you're working with a large cluster of florals, what works really well is to first go through the whole image with your dark and go around anything that is going to be front facing. So I have these two markers. They're both markers, but this one's on top, right? So it's front facing. So naturally the shading is going to fall around that marker. So same kind of thing with the florals. I'm going to come in. I can see that along this line, this is front facing, as well as here and here. So there, I finished that flower. Nothing's front facing on these two. Nothing on this one. This one is front facing over here and here and up through here, all the way around here. You may be going, wait a second, you're coloring over the other florals. But trust me, by the time you're done, it's gonna look really nice. So I'm gonna go on to this flower. This one has some front-facing petals. And this one as well. So going just around it, everywhere that it is got those petals front facing. This one definitely does. So I'm going to come all the way around on the petals that are through here. For this one, there are only, let's see, right here. This is in front. And this part is also in front. This is in front. And it looks like even up here, that petal is just kind of curled over at the top. Here, this is, that edge right there is front facing, as well as here. Now there are a couple of little tiny buds right here, and I'm just gonna color them with the darkest color. And keep in mind, this will lighten up some as it dries. So you can see up close here now what I've done, and it looks funny, right? But that's gonna be the base for our shading. Vicky. Pat, yeah, check out, if you go through the supply list link that I have, there's a link there to Olo markers, and you can see what they have over on the Pick and Fen Studios channel. They have, last I checked anyway, they had full set, they had lots of different sets, they had pre-order for the new colors, so definitely check. No, it's fine. I knew what you were saying. No, but they could be plotting against my looks, Vicky. You never know. I've heard that happens. Lynn, if you have a ton of Copics and you don't want to invest in a new set, you definitely don't need to. The Copics are very good markers. 2.4, I love colors, so I have Copics, I have Olos, I have lots of inks. You guys know that about me. Okay, so for the 2.4, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to go same kind of thing. I'm going to come along those areas where I shaded, and I'm going to go just in to that purple and pull it out and bring it out a little bit and leave it just like that. Now I'm going to do the same thing over here, going into that darker color. And there's no like rule on how far you need to pull the color out with your midtone. So if you want only a few areas to have a very light color on your card, then use your midtone to go out much farther. Hopefully that makes sense. So anywhere I've got this the darker purple line, I'm just barely going into it and pulling it out. Let's see. Sometimes I get lost and I have to take a step back and say, what was I doing? And here we've got some too. I think what's hard about coloring this way is your natural inclination is to color in the whole floral, right? You want to color it in. But when you go about it this way, it feels unnatural because you're just like adding your shading first. And it can be, at least for me, when I first started doing it this way, it was very discombobulating, I'll say. All right, so we're going to pull out this purple here. And right here on this tip of this petal where we had some shading. And right up here into this top flower. And I'm just going to double check and make sure I got everything. So you can see there how I pulled that out. And now I'll come in with my lightest color, which I'm going to use 2.3. So it's not too far from the 2.4. And you can go in and then same thing, lightly go over where you had that midtone, and then you can finish coloring in the image. So I've colored in that floral. I'll hold it up just so you can see there. Do you see now how it's got that nice shading area right in there, and then it lightens up out here? And if you really want to get fancy with your coloring, you can leave a little bit of white space where the true highlight would be on the floral. I'll admit I am not the best at that, so I will oftentimes, if I'm going to highlight things, I will actually come back in with a white colored pencil and lighten the areas afterwards. Once I can see the whole image put together, I find that to be easier because you can use your colored pencils in combination with your alcohol markers. I use Prismacolor. They work really, really well. And if you wait during the holidays, you can find them they're like on sale all the time during the holidays. Okay, so we're moving along here. Oh, and see here, I just saw I missed shading back behind these darker little tiny blooms that were there. So I'm going to go back. All right, back to our light. And I'll look up at the comments in just a second, guys. And I'm going to color this all in, just lightly going over that mid-tone. So here, I just noticed another spot. There's a little petal up here that curves over. So I'm going to come back in with just a little bit of the 2.4 and add a little shading line under it. All right, back to the lightest. And I'll go through everything here. And there we go. I'm going to hold this up. You guys can see, hopefully, you see how that gives it so much more depth and texture. All those layers are really clear in what's at the top, what's underneath, where the shading from the layers is hitting on top of each other. It's a great way to color florals. This is my favorite way to color them. Let me look back because I know there was something I wanted to, oh my gosh, first shipment is coming. Okay, Nicole said. So they had to order 6 times for all the people that want to pre-order, but I think the pre-orders are still open. Okay. Oh, Vicky, thank you. I'll take it. Let's see. Kathy, yes, you definitely can do it that way. I don't recommend doing that with something like Nina just because you're really going to saturate your paper. But you can color the entire image with your lightest color and then go dark, medium, light. If you really want your image to pack a punch with color, the gal over at Kit and Clouder, who does some really amazing alcohol marker classes, recommends recoloring your whole image in the same exact way again, because you're going to get more pigment in your paper. And it's I don't know if it's pigment or it's dye. I shouldn't say pigment because they're 2 different things. But you're going to get more color into the fibers of the paper, and so it's going to make them more vibrant. Now, I'm kind of lazy, and certainly most of the time I am not going to double color an image. Let's see. Yes, Dawn had a fantastic time. She was there as well as Brenda, and we had some good fun. Hello, Jennifer. Welcome. Thank you, Alicia. Okay, so we have our pretty floral here. I'm going to bring in the coordinating die now. Just kidding. I'm going to first use my YO 2.3. And I am going to dot the centers of these florals. I'm just going like this. You see that? It's going to push out the alcohol ink that was there. It'll be subtle. I have no idea if these flowers have orange centers. Like I said, no green thumb here. But that will just break up that floral a little bit and give it a different color at the center, a kind of brownish orange, because that coordinates with the purple. Okay, let's pull these out and get our coordinating die. We'll die cut this. And take a drink of water because I'm getting scratchy. Vicky, she's close friends with Nicole, and she was at the Pick Event Studios table. I can't remember her last name. She's lovely. I got to meet her for the first time, and I got to meet Brenda for the first time in person, who, if you guys don't follow Brenda on Instagram, you are missing out. That is one talented lady. I was so excited to meet her. I can't remember what the name of her Instagram is, but I'm sure she's part of the Instagram hop that is going on today. So if you head to the Pick Event Studios Instagram and hop through, you're going to see some really super talented ladies showcasing the May release, which is awesome. So we'll die cut this. Give me a second. Not a lot of die cutting today. So I tried to pack light, you guys. I packed in a carry-on was all I packed. And I am not the best about packing early. Like if I'm going on vacation, I will always pack my kids first. And then I pack myself last because I don't have a ton of clothes. I'm not like really a big clothes person. And so I wear like the same, 10 things. So I just pack it's not that bad. I usually have to wash some laundry and then pack. And I packed and I grabbed what I thought were my 2 current favorite pairs of pants. And I got to the event, or I got there on Thursday, and had to very quickly rush to get ready because there was kind of a, if you were a student, they had an event that was just for students on Thursday evening, and it had already started by the time I got there. So I ran to my hotel room after I checked in, pulled out what I thought were my favorite pair of pants, and of course it was the pair of pants that I didn't even know I still had. They did not fit at all. So I couldn't wear them. So I was stuck with one pair of pants the whole weekend. And my favorite pants were the ones I left at home. I was so sad. All right, let's get our foiling on. I could not find my carrier sheet. I have no idea what I did with it. So if you lose yours, just an FYI, something you can do is you can use parchment paper. Oh good, I'm not alone. The problem is I need to pay attention to details. Normally I'm very good at that, but I did not this trip. But you can use parchment paper instead of a carrier sheet. I think the carrier sheet works better. So I definitely recommend using that if you have it. But if you're like me and you can't find it, which I don't even know how is possible because I always put stuff away after I'm done crafting. Can you imagine if I didn't? I'd be in a sad state, you guys, if I didn't put things away. So it's not where it's supposed to be. I'm sure it'll show up eventually, but for today anyway, we are using some parchment paper. So with foil, I always like to brush off the foil, brush off my paper, throw my paper. That's good too, whatever works for you. Get any little dust bunnies, pieces of hair, whatever that might be hanging out on your paper. Mostly important with the paper, I feel like. There we go. So that should take care of that. I've got my mini mink. We had these on the Pick Event site. I don't know if we still do or not, but they are great. They're smaller. They work better than a laminator. You can use a laminator to hot foil, but I will tell you, I've talked to a lot of people. I don't have personal experience with it, but I've talked to a lot of people that say they had a laminator and then they got a machine like the Mink, and that it just does a much better job, which makes sense because this gets a lot hotter faster and it has more rollers than just your standard laminator. So I don't know. If you want to do toner foiling, I recommend getting one of these guys. Now, I think I cut this funny. Hold on. Let's see if we can get it right. I think it'll be okay. Yeah, let's just, I don't want my foil rolling up in there. I think that'll be okay. I think. We'll see, right, guys? It's an adventure. Oh, and I hope this is not gonna fit. Give me a second. We'll get there. I promise. I gotta find that darn carrier sheet. Otherwise, I'm just gonna order one. Because this is not gonna last. The parchment paper nonsense. Let's see. Is that gonna fit? Yes, but we need to trim it a little better. Okay, we've got a green light. Normally, I would actually let my laminator just sit and warm up for quite a while before I got started. But because we are live, I didn't think to do that. I think this is going to go all the way through. All right, we're going to try it, guys. So you're just going to slide it in. Let it do its thing. Try not to push on it or stuff like that. I'm impatient, so I have to like tell myself to actually remove my hands so I don't mess with it. Jennifer. Oh yeah, Vicky, PJs only. They should have like a PJ night. Maybe when they do the student night, they could do a PJ night. Encourage people to wear PJs. That'd be fun. All right, let's see how we did. Fingers crossed. Okay, it's looking, at least because you can see on there, it's looking like we probably did all right. We might have not hit a couple of places, but that's okay because the flowers are going to be covering it. Let it cool. Always want to let it cool before you peel the foil. And see how we did. Okay, we did okay. Not perfect. I think it's because we used the parchment paper, but that's fine. Not a big deal. So we've got some pretty prism loveliness going on here. And it's going to look really pretty with our florals on here. See? And see how the ink blending, can you guys kind of see? It's not great with the lighting, but it does go from dark to light and the gradient is very obvious. Let me show you. This one turned out better for me yesterday because I was being more patient. And also the ink has finished drying on there. So you can kind of see that gradient a little bit better on this one. Let me set this over here because I am going to pull the florals from that. Move this. I'll turn this off. That is the, what is it called? Metallic silver toner foil, which is one of my favorites. Let me move this so we have room again. And grab a tissue. Okay, I'm back. Let's see. Hi, Rhonda. Did I see you come in? I don't know if I did or not. Hi, Rhonda. Okay, we're going to next. What are we going to do next? Now you could save this and use it on, we have some really cool toner cardstock in the store that comes in all kinds of different colors, which is fun. Next, we are going to heat emboss. So let me come in here. We'll take our flower off. And we're going to bring in one of the sentiments. We're going to use this one, but there's lots of sweet ones. Let me move this out of the way. Out of the way. So you've got, you are in our thoughts with great sympathy. Flowers may brighten a room, but you make it shine. You make blue flowers even bluer. Flowers help a heart blossom, which is what I'm going to use. Thank you. You are in our hearts and prayers, and beauty from the inside is my wish for you. So a great sympathy set to have on hand, I feel like. But also you could use it for all, any other kind of card as well. Let me zoom this back out a little bit. Now that we are done with our coloring, we're going to go maybe right about there. Okay. We're going to use some black cardstock. There's two different black cardstocks that I use a lot of. I use Lawn Fawn Licorice, and I use Hero Arts Pitch Black. I like both of them a lot. So if you're looking for a good black cardstock, that might be a place to start. So I'm going to trim off a piece of this because I don't want to waste all my black cardstock here. So we'll heat emboss on that, save the rest. Bring in our sentiment stamp here. I am going to put some anti-static powder down here to help keep that embossing powder from sticking where it shouldn't. And embossing ink. Put some embossing ink on there. There's 3 things I always recommend if you are struggling with embossing. 1, use an anti-static powder of some sort. 2, make sure your embossing ink pad is really nice and saturated. I re-ink mine every couple months just to make sure. And then 3, if you have the ability to put some kind of sticky mat in your stamping platform so that you can double stamp really easily, I do think it helps to double stamp with the embossing ink. When I was just using the magnets with the Misty, I never could get it to work right, so I always single stamped. I don't know why, but something about the embossing ink, I'm sure it was user error, but I could never get it to work right. I could double stamp with the magnets with ink. I don't know why. I don't know. One of those things, you guys. Okay, we've got some opaque bright white superfine. And we're just gonna come in, see how we did. I always add a second layer, but I'm not sure that I even really need to. I think it's just kind of habit. Pour this back in and close it before we make a giant mess. And wipe off our work surface. And I think that's pretty good. I am going to come in with, where's my favorite one? Oh, there it is. I like to use a flat head brush because I can use it on its side or like this to remove. A lot of people prefer to use like a little tiny angle brush or to use a fine tip. There's no right or wrong, really, you guys. It's just personal preference on what you're better able to control. But see, I like that flat side because I can go all the way around and make sure that it is nice and clean. Oh, and then I can do that. You guys, this is what happens. I'm sitting here telling you about how awesome it is, and then hello, my name is Charlene, and I make messes. Okay, there we go. Crisis averted. Put this back. How are we on time? Oh, we're fine. We're doing good. This after we get this and die cut it, the card's gonna come together really quick. Okay. I'm not gonna be as exacting as I normally am, I promise. Normally, I will sit there and remove every single speckle potential of embossing powder. So I'm going to heat this up. When you're heat embossing, you always want to take a hot heat tool to your paper because it works better. And that's just I know that from experience. Some people prefer to heat emboss on the back side of their paper first to get that melt started, and then they will go to the front. I always just take mine to the front, but what I will do is I will bring it in from the front, and as soon as it starts melting, I will run it along. And you can see it's not 100% done yet, so I then come back in for a second kind of blast, and I feel like for me that works really well. So that you gotta wait and see what works well for you, but you can see we didn't lose any of those fine lines. We didn't get any overheating where the embossing powder actually like starts melting into the paper. Sometimes you'll hear people say they burn their embossing powder. That's usually really what they mean, is that it has been overheated so that it has melted into the paper and it gets kind of a funny look. I'm sure you guys have done that before. I've done it like a million times, especially when I was first starting to make cards. and had no clue what I was doing. All right, we've got our coordinating die. The dies for the set come with all of the sentiment dies as well. So that is always good. Anna, this would be a really good sentiment for you. Anna makes lots of beautiful, beautiful cards with dried flowers on them. And they're beautiful. She presses them and uses them on her cards. Okay, let's see. We're gonna die cut this out. Get our tape. I'm using highlighter tape. This is also called Easy C tape, but it's the same exact product. Either one from Lee Products, I believe, is the name of the company. I'm gonna die cut this. Okay. There we go. Now I want my finished card to be kind of low loft. So I am going to use, low loft in my sentiment. I don't want it to be super high. So I'm actually going to use some thinner foam strips today. And actually, because we are already at 10:52, I'm just going to pull in my other card that I kind of pre-did here, and we'll finish it off this way. So I didn't glue anything down. But here's what I did. I colored 3 of the florals, you can see. And all I did is I took a little piece of twine and I colored it at the base here and then just kind of fanned them out. So I got a nice little trio of florals. And I added some of those thin black foam strips on the back there. And I cut down my purple foiled piece to 3 3/4 by 5 inches. So we have a 1/4 inch all the way around what would be the front of an A2 card panel. For my sequins, I'm pulling these from the new, here we go, Razzle Dazzle Embellishments. These are really pretty. Look at that. So it's got just really gorgeous, bright rainbow colors. You've got pink and blue and teal and green and purple, and so great for shakers, but also good for having on hand because you can easily just pull out single colors. Okay, so we'll put, first I'm going to put my, first I'm going to glue on my and I don't think I'm going to glue. I'm actually going to use some double-sided tape. Thinner paper tends to show glue lines. I have pretty good luck with the glue I use. A lot of the glues I use, but the toner paper, because it is so slick and shiny on the front, any little itty bitty imperfection from glue that's behind it can easily show. So if you are feeling particular, then just use some double-sided tape. You could glue it. I glue it a lot too. I don't want you guys to think that this is what I always do, but oh man, and this tape is so sticky. This is like the stickiest double-sided tape, man. If it's on your paper, you're done. It's not coming off, y'all. Okay, there we go. Set this aside. I'm gonna peel up. Which side's my bottom? This is the bottom. Okay, so I'm gonna peel. Oh, hold on. Hold on. We got a little bit extra here. Come off of there. Come off. It doesn't want to. Oh well. Okay, we're gonna peel the release tape off about a third of the way down. And expose the adhesive there. I actually learned this from Rebecca, who's in the comments a long time ago, watching one of her videos, and it's genius. So you've got this little like spring, right? So when you put it on your card front, until you press down, it is not going to adhere. So I can figure out exactly where I want it to be. And then when I'm ready to commit, I press that top part, flip it over, remove the rest of the release tape, and it's gonna all go right where it's supposed to be. Makes it a lot easier to line stuff up. Welcome, Freedom Deep, glad you're here. So we've got that. Now I'm gonna come in and figure out my placement for this. I know I want my sentiment to kind of be tucked in here. So what I'm going to do is I am going to add some glue to these two back florals here. Hold on a second. I just realized I have not used this glue in like a week, because I was gone for Create. So it might need a little bit of help getting started. Might have clogged a little. Let's see. There we go. I was just squeezing it off into my trash. There we go. If you have the precision glue press and you're gonna leave your glue sitting there for a longer period of time, like a couple of days, I recommend go ahead and capping it, because I get it. It does dry some if it's just sitting there for a long time. At least that's my experience, and it's also dependent on climate, you guys. Climate makes a huge difference on how well things work. Okay, that looks good. We're gonna bring this in and we're gonna drop it. I want it over a little bit, I think. Kind of like right about there. Does that look good? I think it does. Okay. So now I'm going to come back over here and add a little bit of glue on the base of my stems. Hold those there. And then lastly, I'm going to bring in, just because I'm keeping this so low loft, I'm going to bring in just a couple of little squares so I can tuck these in kind of here and there, back behind my floral. Right around here. And use your tools, you guys. Like, I feel like sometimes we're always trying to use our fingers. We have our tools for a reason, right? Like, they are there to assist us to make our lives easier. So we don't have to constantly be trying to get things done with our fingers. So I'm going to go ahead and take the release tape off of these. I think I might add one more back here. Somewhere like maybe around there. That looks good. And we'll just kind of pop it right there, I feel like. So it's going to give us just a little bit of dimension, not a 10, but it's going to look really nice on the front of our card. And now we can put our sentiment down. And come on. You want to come off the back. There you go. And what I often do, if you guys have watched me at all in the past, you know that I will die cut several of these and I will glue them together, and that's how I really like to get my dimension. Tiffany, hi! I got to meet Tiffany in person at Create. She's fantastic. She is so sweet. Go follow her on Instagram. Follow all these people. And I'm going to tuck this in right here. It's going to be towards the bottom third of the card. That's always a great place right along that line to put a sentiment. And if you have a large image, which is going to be your focal point, when you're putting your sentiment in, you got to be really kind of like aware of the spacing between your sentiment and your image. Because if you had your sentiment like way out over here, it's not going to be cohesive. You want it to be close enough to your large focal point that way it has like a natural flow on your card. Hopefully that is making sense. I'm gonna, where do I want this? I kind of want it, I think like right around there. So let's hope that's straight. Is that straight? That looks pretty straight. Okay, there we go. And now we can add our little sequins. I'm gonna put, how many did I have on there? I think I had 5 on there. I don't really remember where I had them. So we'll just kind of go with it. Let's start with those 4. And then maybe I will add the 5th one in. So 1, 2, 3. So we got a triangle there. And 1, 2, 3. So we have a triangle here. And where do I want to put this last one? I think probably, do I want it here? Let's test it. Let's test it, guys. You guys should be proud of me. Those of you that have watched me for a long time, you know that I'm like wild when it comes to sequins, and that I can spend like a million years trying to figure out sequin placement. I think I am going to put it back up here. I think that's good, because then that creates a triangle here and a triangle there as well. And you get some nice kind of symmetry going on. And there we go. And that's all there is to it. That's going to finish off this card. You can see we have the beautiful foiling going on here with our pretty purple gradation from dark to light, our pretty purple flowers that we colored, a nice heat embossed sentiment to add a little bit of shine on the sentiment as well. Some fun colors, even though it's all purple, because we've used so many different shades of purple, it's created this beautiful kind of like multi experience, right, for your eye to look at. There's lots to look at on the card, even though it's monochromatic. So again, that was the, hold on, where are we at in time? Okay, we're fine. What, you guys can hang with me for another minute, right? Let me move this stuff out of the way. And I'll switch you back over in just a second. Let's switch you back over. Hi. So we use the Bellflower stamp set. Anything that I use today is linked in the supply list. That is in the description. It's also pinned to the top of the comments. So if you're interested in anything, I would absolutely love it if you went through those links. They are affiliate links. So any purchase you make through those links does earn me a small commission, which helps me cover all of the costs of bringing this fun, crafty content to you. And this is the new release, like I said, so there are so many awesome things over on the website, so be sure to go and check those out. And then lastly, I just want to remind you guys, at 6 o'clock Central today, Nicole will be going live on the Picket Fence Studios YouTube channel for our launch party, and she will be showing the entire release, providing her insight. She always has amazing insight because she's the owner of the company. And she'll be showing a bunch of design team samples in order to show you what you can do with the amazing products. So it's always fun to go to those launch parties and you can chat and hang out and relax and see the beautiful release. So, oh, thank you, Tiffany. She loves my tap. Thank you. Appreciate you. So definitely come hang out with us. All right, you guys ready for card giveaway? All right, I'm going to close my eyes. Well, let me give you like 30 more seconds. If you want to leave a comment, I will pick somebody from the comments randomly, and I'm going to send you this card that I just made as Happy Mail. So if you like getting Happy Mail, go leave a comment and do that really quickly. And then I will go ahead and grab those or grab someone from the comments. And oh, I wanted to again show you this Plenty of Foils or Plenty of Lines A2 foiling toner sheets. This is new, great for backgrounds. You can ink blend all those things. That's what I did today. And if you're like me, I need to find my carrier sheet because carrier sheet works better than parchment paper. Anyway, we worked with it. We sorted through. Okay, guys, here we go. Where's my mouse? Okay, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna cover my eyes. I'm just gonna like scroll through the comments. I haven't figured out a great way to do this, so I'm just gonna kind of like, I don't know, someone somewhere on this list is gonna get a card. Stop. Pat Norris. Yay! There is your comments. You are the winner of this sweet card that we made today, and I would love to sit. Look how pretty it looks. See, this is a better view actually, like because it's the way the lighting is in the room. I feel like you get a better view here of the gradient and the shininess of that beautiful foil. Isn't that cool? I'm looking over here at my monitor because I can see it. Anyway, Pat, send me your address to, nope, that's not it. Come on. There we go. contact@dreamcraftcreate.com. That is my personal email. I'll throw it up again. contact@dreamcraftcreate.com. You send me your address and I will mail you some Happy Mail. Whew. Okay, we made it through, guys. I am so glad you all joined me. I hope you'll come back next Tuesday. Again, most Tuesdays at 12 o'clock Central, I am here on the Pick Event Studios YouTube channel making some kind of fun project. I like to focus on techniques. Other times I focus more on whatever the product is and show you different ways to use it. So I try to change it up. If anybody ever has a suggestion or something that they would like to see, definitely let me know because I'm always open to that input as well. Thank you for taking your Tuesday to hang out with me. You guys are awesome. Thank you for listening to me rant about, or not rant, but bubble, I guess, about Create and how awesome it was. I appreciate you all. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.